Okay, Simon Kuf Mem. This is, as Pesach mentioned, this is Shaykh to this week's Parashas Va'era. Kishalmerli Inyan HaNitfas B'Likutei Tinyanis M'Pevav. When the Rabbi taught me the lesson in the second part of Likutei Moharan, lesson number 86, on the Pasuk in this week's Parasha, Mikoitze Ruach Me'avoida Kasha, that the Bnei Yisrael did not hear Moshe Rabbeinu's message because of shortness of breath and hard work. What's the Rebbe explanation? So they katnes amuna, through a smallness, a lack, a shortcoming in faith, tzrichen la'avodos kashos. The person has to work extra hard in serving Hashem. Right? The specific example the Rebbe uses in the lesson is that of fasting. That a person doesn't have enough faith, so he has to fast in order to come close to Hashem. And fasting implying, in a general sense, hard work, things that are difficult. So when Rabbi says, when I heard this, Amadati lefonav k'mishtoimei, I was like shocked. My mind was confused and racing about this. I thought I had some faith. If I have faith, why am I working so hard? Rabbi says, if you have and the Rebbe responded to me with somewhat of an angry tone of voice. As if to say, so you have some faith. You don't have faith in yourself. You don't have faith in yourself. And the Rebbe mentioned immediately the Gemara, right, the pasuk in Zechariah, who will despise on the day of smallness. The Gemara explains, it interprets that pasuk, Migoram letzadikim, who caused it, that the tzadikim should suffer, she is bazbei shulchanam la'azid lavai, that their table that they'll have in the future world will be denigrated, will be mocked, right? And the answer is, the Gemara's answer, Katnesh shahoya behem ba'atzman, the smallest that was in them, in themselves, right? Shalo ha'aminu behem ba'atzman, they did not believe in themselves. Rashi explains that they were short on faith in general, mostly apparently in Hashem. But if you read each word literally of the Gemara there, the smallness that they had in themselves, near Mavur, the very Benazan. It seems very clear the way the Rebbe is explaining. That the main shortcoming in faith that they had, those tzaddikim, even though they were tzaddikim, they didn't have enough faith in themselves. Right? And the explanation is not, of what that means is not yet been given. Stay tuned. That they didn't have enough faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, Shehu Toiv Lakoil, that is good to every single human being, V'heim Chashuvim Gedolim Be'einav Yisbarach, and they're important and great in Hashem's eyes. You and me, each and every one of us, we have to believe I'm someone important. Hashem thinks I'm great. Hashem thinks the world of me. Right? Because they didn't have that faith in Hashem, they didn't believe that He believed in them, that's why they were too meek and nebi, maybe. I don't know if we can release that word about tzaddikim, but that's how we might think of it. And that was their main shortcoming of faith. But they didn't believe in themselves. And you could read Rashi as meaning the same thing. And the principle that's understood from the Rabbi's words, his teaching here, a person has to have faith in himself. That he too is dear to Hashem. The fantastic goodness of Kadosh Baruch Hu is so great, right? That he too is important to Hashem. Right? Even you, you may think of yourself, oh my, just some kid from here, from there, No. To Hashem is Baruch, you're the greatest. You're fantastic. And we've already explained it any number of times that it's not humility, lios b'motion the katnas chas v'shalom, to think of yourself as being a down and out, as a loser. Right? That's not humility. To think that you're a loser, that's not it. But Sichos levakesh harvei Hashem is Baruch l'izkos l'darchei anov be'emes. And a person has to daven a lot to really understand what humility means and how to live that humility in practice. Right? It's talked about in these lessons, lesson number 22 and 72, and Od Kam Kamos. Shortly after this particular lesson, right? Higi Rosh Hashanah was Rosh Hashanah V'Amar Oz Torah Chadi Rabbi Shimon Samach Aleph. The Rabbi taught lesson 61 in the first part of the Likutei Moharan. Sham Hizker Inyan Chisar Namuna Ba'atzma. And there too, the Rabbi talks about a person having a shortage of faith in self, right? And there the Rabbi talks about in regard to Limud Torah that a lot of times people have real insight into the Torah, right? But they think, just a beginner, just this and that, so they don't really believe that their insight is a real insight with value and kedusha, and that's not so. Right? There the Rebbe talks about having faith in oneself, and Osei in that lesson. See there, yesh aleim machloikes, machmas she'ein lehem amunah ba'atzman. And there are some people who suffer machlokes, who suffer opposition, not only from other people, but just that they face difficulties and obstacles in life because they don't have enough belief in themselves. Right? A lot of success in life a person makes simply by believing in himself. That helps him so that obstacles don't arise, and those that do arise, he has the faith in himself that he can overcome them because Hashem's got his back.
Rabbi Shlomo used to say that he says there are plenty of parents who, when they put their kids to bed at night, they tell their kids, believe in Hashem. He says, but imagine what kind of a world we'd be living in if when they put their kids to bed, they told their kids how much Hashem believes in them. It's Rabbi Nachman's Torah, so it's like